Are you ready?
Yes.
You ready?
Yep.
Hello, sister.
Hello, sister.
How's it going?
It's going.
Is it?
It's my birthday party.
Oh, shit. Oh, it's not your birthday, but your birthday's in 2 days. 2 days.
On Tuesday.
So you're turning how old?
23 years old.
Fuck, I'm 25. Do you feel old? You're not. I'm just.
No.
I'm.
No. Actually, I feel too young.
What do you mean?
I feel like if at like 15, 16, I would have thought that I was much more mature at 23 and had my shit together at 23 than I do now. I also feel like since COVID, I feel like I still haven't turned 21.
Because you didn't get to. You turned 21 during COVID, right?
It was the day the bar shut down was my birthday.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Or the day before, something like that.
Well, and then what happened with your graduation process? You couldn't walk, right?
I did walk.
Oh, you did walk.
Yeah, I just couldn't invite you.
You could only have like one or two people or something?
I don't know.
That's so ridiculous.
It was just like finicky. So what happened was like we didn't have a ceremony, and then last minute they were like, fuck it, let's do it. So they had a ceremony, and then you and Mom had planned a trip to come see me like the weekend before, or the weekend for like Mother's Day. And then she bought a hotel and stuff like that. And then I was like, oh wait, now I can bring guests.
Okay.
Sorry.
No.
And then no one came. But Dominic was there, but.
Well, did that kind of, I know you probably don't care, but did that fuck with your head knowing like none of us were there? I mean, that's a big deal. You just got your bachelor's degree.
Not really, because technically I still had another semester of classes. And so I was like just kind of walking because all my roommates were walking at the same time. And they all graduated, and I was supposed to graduate, and then we walked together, and I was like, I just want to be a part of it. But I'm still coming back for classes, so I didn't graduate really until December recently.
And what is your degree in?
Child development.
Child development.
I had focuses in psychology and family studies, but apparently that doesn't show up on your diploma. I just found that out.
Why?
I don't know. I was like, damn, it just adds a little spice to it, but I didn't get it.
So, I don't know if I want to backtrack. I guess child development, you work at a preschool, right?
I work at a preschool. I work at a private preschool co-op, I guess. So it's like really involved with the parents. The parents are a big part of our program.
As in they're there, like present most of the time?
They can be. That's an option. But our kids are so young. I am in a classroom with 2 and 3 year olds. So that's not really an age group that a lot of parents want to kind of be in the classroom with, because it's hard to detach if they have to leave and things like that. It just makes like transitions really rough, and makes like, the parent might have to pay more attention to their child because they're may need that still.
Do you know, do you notice, can you see like signs of, I don't know, when a kid, speaking about the podcast I did earlier, someone that didn't have like a parent in their life, I wonder if you can see, because I know someone that was working at a preschool and like a kid freaked out, and I think that kid didn't have a good home life. Can you even see signs of maybe a kid that can already be a troublemaker, or maybe not troublemaker, but someone that will need extra assistance?
Yeah.
At this early of an age.
Oh yeah. I mean,
I fucked that question up so hard. That's what I'm saying. Anyways, go on.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of tricky because when at the age group that I work with, it's a little different. They're pretty young, and so a lot of the things that they're doing that people may say is being a troublemaker or just being super rambunctious is just being a normal 2 and 3 year old.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard to say, like, just because they are acting out or, throwing stuff, and
it's too early to tell.
It's not too early to tell necessarily. It's just too early to make judgments.
Okay.
Because when they're 2, they still have a lot of growing to do, and what they were as a 2-year-old, they might not be as a 5-year-old. They might not be as a 10-year-old. But I think there are other things that you can really look at in regards to that spiel, and their home life and how much kind of support and love they have at home, because you can, there can be signs of needier kids that really need, extra support from the adults in their lives, or they might see that as the opposite and they reject the adults in their lives. Everyone's different, and especially when it comes to neglect and abuse and like how children internalize it or externalize it, I suppose. It looks different from child to child, and so it's you may never notice it, unless you're noticing actual signs of neglect or abuse.
Well, these are older kids, but I was talking about this earlier, and I've been thinking about it. I don't know the statistics behind it. I don't want to reach over, but like how many kids are prescribed Adderall right now? Like pretty like not 18, below adults. And to me as a parent, fuck man, I don't know. Not if I was a parent, I would highly not recommend giving your kid Adderall. I mean, that's any kind of drug, any pharmaceutical, but I think stimulants like that, I don't know. Do you think that that's necessary? And this is older, so you don't have experience, but you've been that age.
I don't have experience, but I have
been
opinions.
That age, and you've been that age.
And been that age, and I do have, I have worked with like somewhat older kids, school age kids, elementary age kids. I think that it's definitely probably true that we're overprescribing children for a lot of behaviors that we deem as what's the word? Just not unacceptable necessarily, but not ideal. They see these kids and like, something's going on. Instead of dealing with it, I'm going to prescribe them this and help them fix it.
And isn't that like not an easy way out, but more people are prescribed that probably don't need it than maybe some do. I don't know.
Well, yeah.
There's levels to ADHD. I have ADHD out the ass, but I don't, so then there's ADD. So there's the two different ones, and you can't I don't know how to really tell the difference but I personally feel like everyone has some sort of one or the other. Every person does.
Well, yeah, because a lot of those behaviors are just normal.
They're just human shit.
And the thing with ADHD is it's a spectrum, just like a lot of things. Like you can fall on a spectrum of disorders. You can fall on a range of different symptoms. And a lot of people who have ADHD, it is really necessary for medication just because of their situation, who they are, and they really, really need it. And that's fine. But my, I think, biggest take on that is medication should, if not immediately very necessary for their health, there should be a process to it, and trying to work on. I mean, ADHD specifically is a little different than other things that are maybe mental health related, taking things for like antidepressants and.
Well, the antidepressant everyone, not everyone, but like you probably don't even know that a handful of people that are probably on them, like prescribed them.
Yeah.
I probably know a shitload of people that they don't tell me, and like I wouldn't really know, but I think that it's almost like could be an artificial, like, is that really who you are? Who knows who you could have been, or like what you really are like if you were never prescribed that shit? Because I feel like it changes you. I feel like it makes you almost a zombie. It's not who you really should be because you're on a fucking pill that's making you a certain way. She's not in it.
Oh.
Don't stand. Oh my God.
Mom, what are you doing right now?
Walked in front of the camera. It's all good.
I'm thinking I'm being all good going away from you.
Anyways,
That's our mom.
yeah.
Okay, wait. Just edit this out. I keep feeling like I have to look at the camera.
Yeah, no, it's fine. This is perfect. It's all off the fucking
I'm
off
like,
the top.
Hi.
Everyone's different. That's why it's a beautiful fucking. I'm gonna try and get as
the
many.
camera's so far that I'm like,
Yeah.
whoa, that's kind of trippy.
It can get as I'm trying to get as many people as I can, so everyone's different. But what I was asking you is, do you think that antidepressants aren't really could help people, but other people, like, who are you? Like, that might not be who you really are.
Okay.
Let's get fucking deep about antidepressants.
So I have a lot of different opinions on it, and some of it's not a really refined opinion because it often changes, but my current one at least is that antidepressants can be useful in stabilizing yourself and boosting your mood in order for you to be able to develop different coping mechanisms and strategies and whatever that may be to be able to help you.
Just stand up. Who cares? So are you saying it could be helpful if you use them to wean off something and then you're off the antidepressants too?
Exactly.
You end up
So
quitting?
what I mean by it is it's just that the goal should to be not to be on antidepressants if that's a possibility for you. So
Yeah.
if you can use it to kind of, I know, I don't know a lot of what actually happens with the chemicals in your brain that's happening with when you take
Yeah.
antidepressants and what it's actually doing, but I know a part of it is boosting that serotonin in your brain, those happy
Yeah. Totally.
sorry.
No, that was me. I'm changing my microphone, not yours.
Oh. I was okay. So
Weaning off. Not using them. Coping mechanisms. Yeah. that was good, right?
yeah. Stop, please.
I bet you know so many people that are on them that.
No, you do. And so basically, like, I've had people that I know are on them and they're on them for years. They're on them for 20 years and they're still anxious. They're still depressed.
Oh, that's weird. Well, then-
And then I just personally think that it would be beneficial to take them, or the mindset that should be, especially doctors prescribing them, and how they educate the people that they're prescribing them to, and saying, like, this is what it is, and this is what our goal is going to be with them. This is how you're going to take them, and also supplement that with different therapeutic practices that they can work on themselves to be self-sufficient, not rely on that drug. A lot of people can be really beneficial, and I won't discredit the people who are using antidepressants because it saves a lot of people. It helps a lot. And the thing with having depression is that sometimes it doesn't feel like a choice that you're like, I can't just turn it off. Like, it's not something that you just click off and you're like, okay, I'm done. I can just feel better because I want to. Some people need that extra push. They need that support, and sometimes that's in the form of antidepressants. So I think the weight falls on the doctors prescribing them and how they're educating their patients and what other support they're getting beyond just the medication.
Well, because the way I see it now, as I get older, doctors will just, yeah, sure, just whatever.
Yeah, I don't
But
think
that's
mental
fucking
health is
dangerous.
Yeah.
Okay, you want to talk? I already know what you're gonna say.
Well, I was just gonna say mental health isn't taken that seriously.
No, it's not.
Not at all,
And it's sad
it's frowned upon. It's kind of taboo to talk about. Like,
Yep.
You want to go to therapy? What's wrong? Why? What's happening to you? What happened in your life? And I'm
I
like,
think a lot of it is older people too, because I think that obviously anxiety and depression have been a thing for since the beginning of time. But I think that the older generation doesn't understand as much the whole mental thing, because I think that the internet changed a lot. I think social media changed a lot of, the lack of social interaction in general. All these things can cause anxiety, but I think a lot of the people that say just get over it or whatever, like, there's older folks. And I also think a lot of people in this age, it's almost become like a trendy, like, I'm depressed. It's like, no, there's actually people that are like depressed out there. Like,
yeah.
a lot of the music, I feel like I just kind of edgy. It's like almost it's not looked at seriously, but it's also looked as like almost a business move, like a business marketing tool. Like, I'm depressed and like stress, anxiety, and like, I don't know how to explain it, but I see a lot of that shit.
it makes sense. Like, it is romanticized a lot.
Romanticizes the word to use.
Yes, because I think there's pros and cons to it, because at one point, like, it kind of not lightens it, or I don't know how to describe it best, but it makes it feel more relatable to people listening.
Are you guys hungry?
No,
I just think that would be funny if I kept coming in.
it's on. It's on.
In the middle of doing
Are you
it.
hungry? Good night.
Good
That
night.
was really good. We should keep that in.
I'm going to. I'm
Write
not
that
gonna,
down.
it's take too long to fucking edit all this shit anyways.
Actually, please don't keep that.
I'm going to. What the fuck? What the fuck was I just saying? See, this is what happens when people interrupt. It's not looked upon. It's romanticized, and
Oh, it's romanticized, and I think okay. So that's what I was gonna say. It can be beneficial in the way that it kind of lowers the taboo-ness aspect of mental health, and kind of people are talking about it more. It's more in the media, so it's okay to talk about, telling our teenagers it's okay to talk about it, and like, you know, there's more of a support system for them, but there's the other side of it that romanticizes it too much and can even, I don't know if it necessarily encourages it, because it's not something you really can encourage, but you're right. It romanticizes it in a way that kind of takes also
The credibility.
yeah, it diminishes the people who are actually experiencing it as just like, oh, I'm sad and let's make a song about it. And then there are people who are suffering, and that just doesn't.
It just takes the seriousness away from someone
Yeah.
that actually struggles. Yeah, I mean.
So there's two sides to it, I think.
I just think that when people are actually struggling, it's hard for them to even speak out. And like my thing that helps me the most with all that shit is fucking talking. Like that's why I'm doing this right now, talking to people. It's probably the number one thing. But I feel like when you take the seriousness away from mental health, it makes kids that are, or whoever is depressed or whatever, to not want to talk about it, because I don't know, it doesn't matter. No one cares. That's sad. I see like the suicide rates and all that shit that has raised since 2 years ago. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a depressing ass topic, but I mean, I think about that shit. It's sad.
It is sad. And it's just sad to see people suffering when you know that there's nothing that you could have. I don't want to say that. I'm going to cut myself off.
Did you feel suicidal growing up with me? I mean, fuck, man. Because what you just said right before this is like, it's crazy you got to like that age now that you're 23. You look at me as not like the older sibling anymore. It's like we're just homies. What
yeah.
up?
And I didn't realize how abnormal not abnormal per se, but how not typical that is for like
Yeah.
the relationship that we have is.
What, siblings that are just like close and like
We're just,
cordial,
like,
and it's not
yeah.
awkward when we all are together at like family gatherings.
We don't really like even like act like siblings. We're just
like, what up?
Yeah, what up? You
Yeah.
want to do a podcast? And like,
Yeah, Charles
I don't
literally just
I don't
text
have-
you. You're in town. You want to do a podcast? Yeah, sure, cool. But it's
Growing
sad.
up, it was more sibling though. The thing is because but also we were pretty close in age, and so you tormented the fuck out of me.
Yeah, but
Like I wasn't good.
isn't how it's not typical? Isn't that like that's another kind of sad thing? I mean, especially
yeah.
you can go out like the whole parent thing. Like parents weren't in my life. That's a whole other level. But also like siblings not getting along. I feel like it's way more normal than usual, or what the protocol should be.
The protocol.
I love that
Protocol
word.
of siblinghood.
It's true. Sad
Yeah, I
shit.
think it also, it just when families grow up and the two kids turn out completely opposite, don't have any similar interests, don't have any similar, you can't blame them for not being so close because you have nothing to really relate on other than growing up together.
Yeah.
So that's helpful. We're not really interested in the same stuff, but like we relate enough, like personality wise and sense of humor. Things like that are relate enough to where we can get along as friends outside. Like if we weren't related, we could still get along kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Or like have a conversation. Like, and then there are other siblings that only get along just because they're related and they grew up together. I know a couple.
I know a
but
lot. It's weird. It's like really weird to me. It's like a weird concept. The whole
It is kind of a weird concept.
family in general is just, we've been blessed to have, like, we're all, pretty close with each other, but like, people that don't have a close mom or like not close with their dad, or we don't know, like I don't know my family like that, I would like be a completely different fucking person. I feel really
For
bad.
sure.
A lot of people can come out strong from that, but it can fuck a lot of people up too. Like Soft White Underbelly, that channel, that dude just interviewed like 99% of them like were fucked over at an early age, and people resort to drugs. The drug shit is crazy to me right now.
It is crazy.
The fentanyl shit specific, but yeah, it's crazy.
Fentanyl specific, but it's just, the accessibility of it, but also the need for it and the push towards it. Again, we like full circle is like.
Are you talking about like
mental-
pharmaceutical, like the commercials and shit? How they're just advertising?
Yeah, like all of that, and also just the fact that once again, like how mental health isn't prioritized and relying on other sources of happiness that are, manufactured rather than intrinsic motive. You know what I mean? Like just the fact that it's a big, you have to rely so much on substances and stimulants to be able to function, and that sweet release, that instant gratification has to be replenished every so often, therefore addiction. And it's scary, and it's sad, and it's kind of hard to even think about solutions, because it has to start with, before, drug addiction, it has to start before the drugs. It has to start from square one. It has to start from family. It has to start from support in early childhood.
But people can change, as in like heroin addicts,
Absolutely.
whoever. I just think that you really can only help someone that really wants to help themselves, because if they don't really care or want to help, you can try as hard as you want, but I feel like it's just impossible. And
it's hard. It's hard trying to wanting. I think it also depends on how you're going about it too. If you're trying to push someone in a direction and they're not ready to be pushed, then it just feels like you're pushing them, and they're like, fuck off. But I don't think it hurts anybody to try to help someone see that they have support, not forcing them, hey, you need to do this, you need to do that, but just being there for people and showing them kindness and supportive through as much as you can be without it hurting yourself, making sure that you're still prioritizing your own health in that process of, I want to be there for you, but I also need to be there for me.
Do you think that, like, it's such a weird question, but like all drugs should be legal?
I don't know.
It's a weird
I mean,
question.
it's a weird question, because I don't know a lot. I don't know so much. And so that's a pretty loaded question, because I don't know a lot about laws and regulations in regards to what that would look like. On a first glance, I'm sure most people's first reaction is like, no, why would you legalize all of this stuff? And why would you, it's basically offering it to people. And I'm like, yeah, that's true. But at the same time, if there could be regulations on it, and we know where it's coming from, we know that it's not laced with fentanyl, why don't we? It sucks. Sounds so shitty, but it's like, we care so much, and especially in this country, about personal freedoms and having the right to do what we want to do and choose what we want to do. But if we want to go and eat a mushroom that grew in the ground, that is a felony, and you're going to jail.
Yeah.
And so it's like, no, I don't think you should do this.
Are
And don't.
mushrooms a fucking felony? Holy shit. In California, probably.
Federally, I think, is considered a felony, right?
I don't know. Fuck, that's sketch. Probably because it is considered a hard drug.
It is, but it's so
those
funny
things
because.
Yeah, I know what Xanax.
Yeah, in comparison to
Prozac.
things like heroin and meth, that's on the same. Mushrooms are technically on the same level.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is what we were talking about earlier is mushrooms could be a felony, but let's prescribe this kid Xanax because he's sad.
It doesn't make sense. The whole pharmaceutical industry and the drug industry and also non-legal drugs, all of that business is.
It's all about money. Isn't everything about money though? Fuck. Everything's about money. That's the scary part. And living in California,
Everything's about
holy
money.
fuck.
Everything is about money. No matter what, everything's about money. It's gotten to that point. It
Everyone
feels like.
wants to. I feel like money. When people say it's the root of all evil, I mean it's pretty. It's where greed comes from, and I mean, I think that especially now, everyone is trying to just get money how they can. And I was talking about this earlier, so I don't want to keep repeating myself on podcast episodes, but. It's crazy how everyone wants money. This generation, you can make an 8-second video being absolutely useless in this entire fucking universe, and you're a millionaire. And it's, I don't know, we're talking about people with mental health issues, and then people romanticize it. It's the same thing with just art, or these days. I feel like a lot of things are watered down, especially music. And TikTok, I hate this TikTok shit. I even think about Vine. Vine was cool for some reason, maybe because I was around for it or whatever. But it's crazy to me that TikTok people and a lot of talentless people are making millions of dollars, while there's talented people out there, other people, hardworking people that get paid jack shit. Like you, for example, not that you get paid jack shit, but in schooling and preschool, which is important, they don't get shit. But if you get naked on camera and fucking do a fucking TikTok or do a prank at a grocery store, you might be making 10 mil in like a year.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
my rant.
and my problem with it is that it's not just like the people who produce that kind of stuff to blame. It's like we're all consuming it. We all find
I
that
know.
thing's entertaining, and even if it's something so absurd, we're still gonna watch it, and we're still giving them views. So it's like we're all a part of that. Like we can criticize it all we want, and we're still feeding into it. We're still talking about it. You know what I mean? Because it gets you talking. That's the whole point. Is
Well, that's what makes money because it's all
that's
about
what
money.
yes, it's all just to kind of, again, like about that instant gratification. Like you need like something that'll just entertain you really quick,
Don't-
or something that'll piss you off really quick, something that'll trigger that emotional reflex, and then they make money off of it.
Instant gratification is so fucking bad, and I'm just am now really figuring out what delayed gratification is, and that's like, in my opinion, that's how you should live. Instant gratification. I mean, that comes in all forms. Fucking drinking a beer, getting 10 likes in
Yeah.
less than 30 seconds. All that shit, and I think it's what we're all focused on is this era of kids. I talk about like this era a lot because I'm coming up at the same time as all this shit, and I don't know, it trips me out.
Yeah, but we're also at we're in a weird age group. More so, I think
Transition
you is
stage.
transitioning from between like internet.
I like YouTube. That's it.
No, I just mean like the start of internet. Like we were at a weird age group where we weren't totally born quite into the internet
yeah.
usage, but we still a big part of our childhood was internet, was gaming, it was all that kind of stuff. So we're kind of in that weird in between stage. That's kind of how I look at it, is like internet and our generation, or whatever generation we might be in, different ones. I'm not sure.
Who's the one to even say like what years the millennials are? It's always changing. I don't know.
It is kind of pretty finicky.
What's
but
Generation Z? Is that younger? Generation Z, that's got to be younger. Generation X was
Gen
70?
Z, maybe I'm Gen Z.
I think you might be Gen Z.
I'm either Gen Z or there's I overlap a lot. So like there's also people try to talk about like that middle, I can't remember what they call it, but like there's a weird gap that I'm talking about, like between like 90, it's like 96 and 99, or 97 and 90, 2000,
Oh, fucking
something
no.
like that, where it's like this weird in between, and then like I don't know. But honestly, anytime I Google search it, like everyone has a different answer, so then I don't really care. I just know that I'm born in 1999.
96. Yeah, because we kind of grew up on social media. We're like the first real all social media. I had MySpace, Facebook, but I'm looking at the dangers of it now. It took me 25 years.
Oh, it's bad.
It's and I'm addicted to my fucking phone. It's not so much social media, it's more like YouTube. I'm always just like watching videos. But I think it's you could agree you're addicted to your phone.
Absolutely.
Isn't that instant gratification? That's so bad for you.
It's really bad for me, and I think
Not
that
I'm saying anyone, but yeah.
well, it's really bad for it's bad for anyone. But I got to a point where I've always been like addicted to my phone. I feel like
Yeah.
at least a little bit, like since the age of smartphones. Even if I wasn't using it quite as much, I feel like I always need it. Like I can't really go a day, or like I can't go 2 days without, like I go camping sometimes, but I still have my phone for pictures. Like I'm taking, you know what I mean? Like I never really put it down. And sometimes I have to force myself. I'm like, hey, let's just leave it. Go for a walk. Like leave it at home. Like you don't need to always be like making sure it's in your pocket.
Yeah.
I think a big, like, since moving out to Santa Rosa and like not having 5 roommates all the time, not being in school and seeing all these people all the time, like having the other distractions, now I'm at a point where I'm like, okay, I need some distractions. I need something to do. So I turn to my phone because I'm like, what else would I do?
Well, that's why exercise, and I don't think that's talked about enough. Everyone knows that it's good, but I don't think it's pushed enough. I think it's more pharmaceutical drugs will help you more. No one talks about exercise, but what I've learned is just going outside, like just working out, obviously, and going to the gym, but like going outside, just go. People don't understand that everyone sleeps on walks.
Yeah.
Like walks are the fucking best thing in the fucking world. Just walk, even without your headphones, just walk.
Walk. Okay, you know what I have appreciation for, which I can't really do a lot because I don't, if not by myself at least. But I think at some point in time, everyone needs to take a walk through the forest at night.
Oh, I don't want to do that.
Oh my gosh.
No, I've never done that.
You've never done it ever.
I mean, camping, yeah.
Even then, camping, like, it's just like being in the forest at night, even with other people, even if you're not by yourself.
I have a very large fear of bears. Very large fear of bears. I'm so scared of bears. I've seen bears
I have a
very
fear of
close.
blowing up, so.
You have a fear. You,
Like this fire right now?
were you old enough to remember that when that fucking bear climbed up on the table right in front of us and started
ate
drinking
my
cereal, drank the cereal milk?
Yeah, that was my cereal. I remember that.
Um,
Because I remember at the time though I was little and I was like, "What do you guys? Why are you guys so scared? It's a baby bear.
Yeah,
It's
but
so cute." But I was
you
also,
look to the no one. I don't know if anyone else saw this. I looked to the right, and there's like a little hill, and there was the fucking mom bear on
Yeah.
high, all fours. She was on 2 feet, just like doing her fucking, I don't know, stretching or something. But it was big. I was like, let's
oh
get
yeah,
the
bears will fucking kill you. Bears will eat you alive. Easy, no problem. Like,
and
no,
you can't outrun them. They're so fast.
they're so strong. They're so fast, and they're mama bear's protective. It's mama bear for a reason.
I don't. So whole going through the forest at night. Fuck that.
Okay, but obviously you don't mean just like going out into like the deep wilderness.
Yeah. Did you see Grizzly Man,
No,
the documentary?
no.
The dude that lived with grizzly bear, like all these animals, but like not Alaska, maybe Alaska somewhere.
Oh, I think I know you're
He was
talking
kind of
about. But I didn't
cuckoo,
see it.
and he had his little camcorder with him. Ends up
Yeah,
him and his
yeah.
girlfriend end up getting eaten by a fucking bear.
That's gnarly.
And it was on. He had the lens cap on, but he had the camera on, and so there's audio of it, but no one ever heard it. But anyways, it's just like that's why I don't fuck with bears, and I can't believe that. I mean, living with bears basically is, I don't know, it's insane. I'm scared of them.
yeah.
I'm more scared than sharks.
I'm really you'd even be scared of sharks.
I'm very scared of sharks. Those are the next.
How
up.
often are you near sharks?
Dude, a dude on
you-
Christmas Eve fucking got killed in Santa Barbara. That's
I
crazy.
don't know. For some reason, like sharks are still not something that I like register as being like scary anymore. Like not scary as in like, yeah, they're scary as beings, but like I'm not personally scared of them because I don't feel like I ever put myself in a situation where I'd be mauled by a
Yeah,
shark.
you're offending them right now. They're probably like coming up with a game plan to be more scary right now. Do you miss living by the beach, having access to the beach?
Still have access to the beach, kinda.
Yeah, but
I'm still about.
yeah.
Well, I mean, it was a lot different when I was in Humboldt. You know, I could go at any moment, but at the same time, when I was in Humboldt, I was so busy all the time, and I barely even made time to go. But I did, and I could if I wanted to, and that was really fucking nice. It was really nice. I love Humboldt beaches. You know, we didn't get quite the weather that like you would in SoCal or even Santa Cruz.
Your weather
but
fucking sucks, but it's cool to be on the beach.
you can over the summer it gets very pleasant though because it's a pleasant 70 75 at the beach and it's a perfect warm, you know, it never gets too hot, but still stays cool and like oh my gosh, it's so nice. I do miss the beach. I love the beach. I want to move and see other parts of the world, but I feel like I'll always be drawn back at some point.
Do you miss San Jose at all? Talk your shit. I don't talk your shit. Say it.
Yes and no.
I'm just kidding. I kind of feel the same way.
So okay, I don't miss San Jose because of it's expensive, it's big, it's just I lived there my whole life, so it's like why would I want to be back there? You know, I need to see something else. I'm over it. Like I feel like I'd get trapped there. It is big enough to where I don't feel like I know all of it. It's so
Oh, yeah.
you know what I mean? We had such a small section of San Jose that we were a part
Yeah.
of. And so I feel like if I lived in another part of San Jose, like it'd be an extremely different experience.
I've driven in San Jose for like 30 minutes before, like trying to figure out where to go. So, but it wasn't supposed to be in San Jose. I forgot. I kind of got sidetracked. And I remember I was like, dude, I've been driving 30 minutes. I'm still in San Jose.
Yeah. It's big. It's way bigger than I thought. I always think it is. I think the reason why I miss it is because I don't feel like I ever got to like actually like it sounds like corny, but like I never actually got to like say goodbye to it or like say I'm ready to leave San Jose because
Pretty corny, but I understand completely.
it's stupid, but okay, like put it this way is like I went to college, I moved out, and then while I was in college, both our parents moved. And so I was like, I went to college and I was doing this whole new
that's
thing, and
different.
then you guys moved, so I had to like come down and like, you know, my long-term boyfriend lived in San Jose. So I was like, okay, peace out. All of my friends that I knew lived in San Jose. And so I was like, once I left, and I was like, well, now what? Like, now I live in these two towns, but only barely, you know, part-time when I came home. So I came home.
That makes sense.
So I was just like, I miss San Jose because I'm like, I feel like I like had, you know, everyone's still there. And sometimes I'm like, damn, you guys all still hang out. But the other time I'm like, damn, you guys all get to still see each other.
Oh, like you still hang out, but then it's like, oh, well, that's actually cool. That you
Yeah,
guys-
you know, I'm like, well, shit. So like, I don't know if I miss it. Do you miss it?
Yeah, start asking me questions. It's just getting hard. Just kidding. No, yes, I think it's a nostalgia. When I think I miss it, then it's like, no, it's nostalgia. Because when I go back there, every time I go back there, and nothing personal against anyone, I get more and more like, I get like anxiety attacks, and I don't know how to explain it. But like I maybe because I'm more known there, not known like famous, but I don't know, just like out here, I don't really know anyone, so I don't have to like worry about, I don't know, running, and I don't know how to explain it. But I think
that's fair.
like I've been so far removed from my hometown that I don't really care. I go back there and there's people I see that it's really nice to see them, but like I was saying, and what James was saying is becoming your own best friend is like important as fuck, and being able to, because you're in the same boat. You live in a fucking retirement community. I go there all the time, but I understand. I don't really understand because I've never been in that situation. But how do you deal with being alone? I guess not having your, your boyfriend's in San Jose, your friends are in San Jose, some are other places, but without being, because you said you're going on your phone for instant gratification. What else though? Like,
How else do I cope with it?
just not having homies, social
Well,
interaction.
Honestly,
Dragging these questions too long. I'm high. Sorry.
I have been practicing the whole like becoming your best friend since like a very young age. Not a very, very young age, but like I've always had like a little slight like loneliness feel because I've always been like, what? Just because I always felt like when it came to like school and friends and shit like that, like I was always like, oh, I have to fit in, or I have to be cool, I have to hang out with people, I always have to, I'm a very extroverted person. Like I think we're both pretty extroverted, at least I would say so. Like we both like to talk, we both like to socialize, we enjoy being with people, and I always enjoyed being with people. And so if I didn't have that opportunity because I'm like, oh, friends were hanging out, whatever, and I had to be by myself, I was like, fuck, what do I do? You know what I mean? And so I had to learn just to kind of hang out by myself. And I remember like I was probably 16, 17, and I'd have a period in the morning where I didn't have to go to. Like I'd have a first period empty or whatever, so I'd only have second period. And so I have mornings free, and I would just like go on hikes by myself in the morning before school.
Going on hikes as a girl by yourself is sketch as fuck. Don't do that shit.
Don't do that. I mean, do it safely.
I don't advocate women by
Bring
themselves.
weapons.
No, fuck that.
Know where you're going.
Well, yeah.
Tell everybody where you are.
I
share your location. Just be prepared.
I don't think chicks should go on trails. I mean, not like. I just think it's dangerous because the amount of fucking creeps out there that will fucking do.
The thing is,
shit
I'm less worried about creeps than I am about like wild animals.
What?
There's how many creeps just like walk around hiking trails in comparison to mountain lions.
Who knows?
You know what I mean?
Who fucking knows?
That's true. Who knows? But at the same time, I don't know.
I don't even think mountain lions are that deep. I think that they're few and far between. But when they see you, you're kind of fucked. But okay, so you go on hikes. That's something that keeps you entertained. But do you ever question, like, seriously, like, you don't strike me as someone that would, but I do. Am I going insane right now? Like, I'll what I'm saying right now, I'll say this by myself in the kitchen, like I'm talking to someone. I'm like practicing kind of talking, but also it's like I'm just like my own fucking homie right now.
You already know. I have conversations. I make people up in my head. I have a conversation with them. I'm in the car. I'm in the car a lot. I feel like I'm driving a lot, just like to in between towns. And so in those car rides, there's like my solid alone time where like I don't give a fuck. And so I'm driving the car, and I am having full conversations sometimes, or at least like they're in halves in my head, and then I'll respond out loud.
Oh, I have people ask me questions all the fucking time. Does that make me a narcissist talking about myself?
No.
Okay, just checking. But yeah, that's funny that you do that, because I would think like I'm fucking crazy. Like I can't believe I'm like doing this.
I'm pretty sure it's normal.
I know, because you told me that, and I was like, what? And then so and so does it too. What? All
no,
right.
I hear it all the time. I remember I had Val. She told me one time that she was nervous that we could hear her do that sometimes, like when we lived together, because she was like, sometimes like you will be the one in my head that I'm talking to. I'll be like, Amy, blah 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 blah. And like I won't actually be there talking to her. She was like, yeah. So I think it's more normal than we think.
Okay, well that makes me feel better, because.
But also like you gotta do it a little bit. Like sometimes, okay, like if I'm planning something or like I'm really busy, I'm overwhelmed, I'll be in the car and be like, all right, so first things first, I'm gonna do this. Oh, just remember to do this. Like go to da.
That's.
But I don't know about you. I'm the kind of person, if I'm doing something, I have to talk things through with people. I have to plan, like if I'm planning something or if I'm working through a decision that I'm going to make, like this job that I just took, I had to talk to everybody and be like, okay, well, here's my pros and cons, blah, blah, blah. Let's talk it out. What I didn't want necessarily an answer from them. I'm like, I just had to say it out loud and like get feedback for everything. I was like, gotta talk things through.
That's a big reason I don't like texting, really, because you don't really get the full. That's why these are so fucking important, and to me, I just really love doing them. But like face-to-face interaction, where we're going as a society is online dating. Video game addicts are like severe video game addicts. People online, just communicating online, and the whole social interaction face-to-face is so like becoming not a thing or not as important, you know? The fuck? I thought you were fucking. That was weird.
My back hurts. I was twisting.
Yeah, my back's fucking killing me right now. Do you think that's a little on the scary side? That the amount of social interaction face to face is so rare.
Yes and no. Not that like we should get used to it, but I just think like it's just the times are changing, and that's just how things are going. But I do think it's awesome bigger, if there were a bigger push for like more social interactions when that's possible, because I think there is a big difference in like building a connection with someone in person and then versus having a friendship purely online. And like I say this, but I'm like basically I feel like I'm in an online relationship currently just because it's long distance, and like a lot of our communication is over the phone. Like a bulk of it right now is.
She hasn't even sent me a full body shot yet.
Just like sandy blonde hair.
I don't even want to think about that movie right now. It's the best movie of all time, though. I don't know. In my perspective, when you have no friends either, like a lot of people go on these meetups, and I think that's a great idea. Do a group or meet up with people. That's cool. But I've always thought it's so interesting to like meet people randomly, if it's through work or like you just kind of happen to meet someone. And the way things are going is it's kind of like forced to like swipe or like meet up here. We're gonna get a hiking group together. That's cool. But I'm more of like old soul.
Well, it'd be ideal. It'd be so ideal if you could meet all your people in a bar in a mutual
not a
like
bar.
interest.
I've met everyone I met at a bar. Ugh, Jesus
but
Christ,
like,
that's a lot.
Like if some mutual interest, like we met each other at the fucking bowling alley. I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
Like if you're really into bowling and you meet someone at the bowling alley, and then you have like a mutual activity you can do. Like that's ideal for whoever, but. It just feels like we're kind of being forced into like the online world, because it's like, what else do you do now?
And
like
I think COVID freaked a lot of people out, as in I don't know, still kind of.
COVID messed like a lot of things up, and that was a big part of it.
I didn't get affected by COVID at all, basically. I mean, I think I've had it two times, but I didn't get affected. Like, didn't lose my job. If anything, I like worked overtime, but nothing shut down out here, specifically this county. I don't want to put it on blast because, but. So I couldn't relate. So when people like you, like the whole trying to graduate college, or kids like couldn't go to their proms and shit, I felt so bad for all those, that's fucked up.
That was shitty.
And
they lost a lot of that super valuable like social interaction.
And the businesses, the mom and pop little restaurants, all those, probably people's favorite spots all closed down. It's sad. And the social interaction, that's what keeps things kind of moving when everyone's kind of bundled up talking through online or meeting girlfriends on Tinder.
Okay, that's what I mean. Like, this is gonna maybe go off topic a little bit, but like when I say like social interaction, like back to my night hikes, because camping at night and you're sitting around a bonfire, or you're sitting around just like watching the stars or whatever you're doing, and you're talking to a bunch of people and you like don't see them. It's just like you don't have your phones, like there's no service, there's nothing, there's no light, there's no electricity. You're just sitting and like talking to people. Those are the best conversations. First of all, if you're gonna do a podcast anywhere, go camping.
Bears. I'm just kidding. I definitely want to go camping.
Bars.
That sounded cool. Yeah, I think that more people, like, it's when I go to a restaurant and I see a family together, and like one kid's got iPad in his face, the other kid's got headphones in, like the more older, like I hate my life type shit, got my headphones in, and then like the mom and the dad are on their like on there, one's checking the news, the other's like updating a nails picture on her Instagram. I don't fucking know. To me, it's crazy. Like, you guys are even at a restaurant, just fucking talk to each other.
You know what I saw? Okay, the other day.
Say it.
I was planning on it. I was at
Say it. I was sick.
I was at a restaurant. I was at a fancy restaurant, like, guess, money restaurant. And to me, that was a special occasion. It was like, woohoo, we're going to a fancy restaurant. And we sit down, like, these people got seated next to us. And, the waiter's asking, like, are you here for a special occasion? They're like, no, we're just here for dinner. And you look over, and, like, they have, like, a dress code at this restaurant. And they're over in their, like, leggings and, like, sweatshirts, whatever. They pull out, they just kind of order food. They said probably 3 words to each other, and it was all about the food they ordered or to the waiter. And then they propped up their phone and started watching TV.
No fucking way.
At this restaurant. And I was sitting here, I'm like, I am like fine dining right now. Like, I am feeling bougie.
It was a couple?
Yeah, it was
Oh
a
my
couple.
fucking
And I was
God.
like, they just came here as like a casual dinner.
They don't
First of
like
all,
each
it's a
other.
flex. First of all, it's a flex. Absolutely a flex that they had the money to just go to this restaurant casually like it's a fucking McDonald's. Like, they're sitting at Chipotle right now, just like having a good time, and I'm over here like, can you pass the water?
What restaurant is this?
Shadowbrook and Capitola.
Is that the one on the fuck? Oh no, I'm thinking of Sausalito.
No, that's Spinnaker. It's like this, I don't know, it's like on the side of the hill in Capitola. Like, it's technically like probably to wealthy people, it's not even like, it's nothing special.
So they propped up
But,
their
like,
phones and are watching movies across from each
yeah,
other
they were
on
like
their
watching.
phones.
Honestly, I didn't know what it was. I tried to pay attention a little bit, but it just felt like some drama. And they like propped it up and like next to them, and they're both like eating like.
Oh my fucking God! See, this is why I really stress
They
out.
also ordered French fries.
Yeah, they don't care. They're cryptos. They make crypto money.
No, they got so much money that they can just sit there casually, and also the fact that they like
What do you feel?
don't.
What do you feel about crypto bros and NFT bros?
Okay, so
Fuck, dude. I mean, more power to you,
dude,
fucking
just
losers.
like check out my website where I can help you get like financial advice, like get you on.
Isn't that narcissistic social media
Yeah.
shit though? That's what I'm talking about, man. This is just I don't want to rant, but fuck.
My favorite kind of people are the dudes that they care so much about like protecting rich people because they think that one day they will. No, they don't think, they know they will be rich one day, and I'm like, bro, like, how old are you? First of all, you don't have any money. Like, let's relax a little bit.
Do you think that someone
Bring
can?
the ego
Do you think
down.
that someone can? A narcissist is born a narcissist, or do you think a person becomes a narcissist, or do you think both?
I'm pretty sure you develop narcissism, and it's usually as a result of home and like environmental factors like parenting styles and like how you were raised.
Well, I was just saying that because we're talking about the NFT and all these people like in like not just NFT crypto world, but I always talk about social media, and I'm a hypocrite for talking shit about it because I use it, but I feel like it has created like the narcissism level has
Absolutely.
gone so fucking absurd. There's this dude Joey B Tunes, I think, and he just like he's a fucking legend. He just like watches TikToks and talks over it, and just like there was a couple like people like going to protests like or like some sort of protest, and they have someone take a picture like they're there, and then
they,
they
like, peace
leave. Or like they were like boarding
That's
like this lady was, I don't know, shit like that, and it's like for like you, hey, pray for Ukraine, follow my OnlyFans. Like what the fuck?
Yeah.
I don't know. Don't you think that like because I talked to you about narcissism because you know more about it than me, and I've dealt with some, and I've met a lot, and I'm like, fuck.
You've met
that-
a lot more than you think too.
There's a lot that I don't think are, or I don't know that they are, but
Yeah.
they really are.
Yeah.
They're
Absolutely.
out there and they're fucking deep now. That's because of this whole online presence. But they're scary people. Like they're fucking sketch. Talk about that energy.
Narcissism. Okay, here's the thing with narcissists, like true narcissists, they are manipulative
Well, yeah, that's the number one thing they
and they will take your entire soul with all their might, and the only way to deal with them is by literally cutting them off.
do. Oh man,
Unfortunately, I'm just going to tell everyone this right now, all 4 listeners, me, you,
Damn, I'm
dad, and
pushing
mom.
it. Oh man, I'm not famous.
You can't fix a narcissist.
You can't. There's no fixing it. Like you can fix a heroin addict.
Can't fix a narcissist.
You really can't, huh?
Not really. Narcissists. The thing with narcissism is that narcissists don't think they're narcissistic. They don't know. They don't care. So they're not going to seek help. Not typically, because they're not like, I'm feeling like, they don't have that level of empathy. or that self-awareness.
Those are the scariest people. Not fucking gangsters, not fucking crackheads. It's people that like really don't care about anyone else but themselves. Like anyone, anybody.
No.
I have so much, not so much, but I have enough empathy to like be confident. Like, all right, I have good morals. I'm a good person for the most part. But people, when you think about someone as narcissistic or they're full blown, they don't care about anything. They might not come here and steal like your money out of like your fucking cookie jar when you're not looking, but like they're just coming here and they might drain your fucking energy.
Yeah.
Like take it out of your soul, like you said.
That they feed off of it.
Why? How? What? For power?
For power, usually,
Oh my
I mean,
God.
from my own experience, I can't really talk on this from an expert point of view, but from my own experience, narcissists are,
So you've met a few.
I've lived with one.
Oh really? That's it.
My roommate, I mean, obviously, she's not like a diagnosed narcissist, and I have no power to diagnose her.
No
But
one really gets diagnosed for that. They do, but like.
there's a diagnostic criteria, but like again, yeah, you're right. Like no
So
one
how do you
really
know
goes and gets.
Give me an example of your roommate being a narcissist. How do you know?
First and foremost, she.
Let's talk
I
shit
have-
about people.
Okay. She was the worst. She just really had an intense lack of empathy. And
Details.
by like genuine empathy. And it started with like little things when I would notice it. So for example, like she was the kind of like the social media narcissist too, where she had to look perfect on social media all of the time. It was all a lie. I saw it. I'm like, I know that you were mad that day and you just posted that picture.
Oh,
of you
yeah,
being like,
that's-
"Ooh," and I know all of those friends hate you now, even though you're all of those things. Like it was those kind of things. But the little things, it started with I remember I lived with her. She lived with me in my little thing, and it was in college dorms. And then I had two other roommates, which were my friends. So all three of us were friends, and she was the newcomer. And she kind of felt she claimed she felt threatened by that, but she tried to be our friend multiple times. And I remember one time she reached out to us because she's at this pie shop if we wanted a pie, like to try it because we had never been there. And so she like goes out of her way to get a vegan pie. None of us are vegan. She just for some reason assumed we are. And then we were like, oh, thank you. Like, that's so sweet. Like, wow. Like, this is when I just got to know her. And then we opened it and there was like half of it's gone. Like, she ate it. Okay.
Wow.
So that was like a small example because I was like, all right, who is this girl? Why is she like buying us pie and then eating it? Like that was like a weird like, huh.
Oh, you know what I would have done?
Huh.
I would have punched her in her stupid fucking face.
So I could knock her out.
No, but
gonna
that's
play again.
that could be an example for sure. I mean,
Okay, that was just a small like kind of where like maybe like take note of
yeah, I'm not buying it
character.
yet. She's still a good person to me.
Second was
convince me.
she admitted to me that she was stealing money from her grandparents and was proud of it. So
what? For
basically,
drugs? For
no.
Adderall?
So her grandparents, she came from money. Her grandparents would send her money to pay her tuition, and she would lie and say it was more expensive than it was, pocket the money and buy things she wanted, like speakers, clothes. I remember she was crying on the phone. Oh, she was on the phone 24/7. She had a rich British boyfriend she would cry to. She had a rich mommy's rich sister. And so she would cry to them on the phone and be like, I heard her. She like wasn't quiet. She heard her talk about how she had a UTI on the phone and needed medication for it. She's like, I just don't have any money. She had a job. I don't have any money. Like, please, I just like don't know what to do. So each one of them, she cried to. I heard the conversation 3 times with 3 different people.
Damn, she's
each one of
wild.
them sent
She's
her
a wild
money.
one.
That same day, she came home with a bag full of clothes.
Ooh, dude, that's a fucking full-blown narcissist right there. That convinced me. I was like, yeah, vegan pie. She might have been hungry. No, this fucking this.
She's also gross. I told her multiple times, like, hey, pick up your chewed gum off the table. Hey, you bled all over the bathroom floor. Hey, like, I'm not lying. Like, shit like that. Like,
Oh my
hey,
God.
I'm taking a nap. Can you please not talk on the phone and open the blinds and start yelling and turn on the lights? You know, stuff like that all the time. And
Yeah.
she was just like, didn't care. I was the bad guy, and then also all of her friends dropped her. She also got kicked out of her last room. She had roommates before me, and she got into such bad fights with them that they kicked her out. They were like, peace the fuck out.
So this is a perfect example of a narcissist.
Yeah, She was pretty bad. There's so many. This was a while ago, and I can't remember all the stories. But she was way worse than that.
Well, that was good. That's the material we're looking for. But did you feel like your energy was just getting sucked out of you?
Every single day, I dreaded going to my room, so I just didn't. I couldn't be in her presence. She was the kind of person that you know when you like walk up to someone and then you just kind of instantly feel like cozy, or like, oh, okay, we're gonna have a good time.
It's that
Or,
energy
like,
shit, man.
It's the energy stuff.
I'm gonna
With
say
her,
that
I
every time.
literally it was ice cold.
Yeah.
I literally was like, you are just like a cold giant fucking polar vortex. Like you're just gonna your coldness, and you just suck out the warmth out of me and then just eat it, and then I just left as a corpse. Is that dark?
It's metal for sure. That's fucking metal. Like that is metal, and I understand. And to me, it's wild that a human being can do that without physically like beating the fuck out of you. Like they'll fuck your life up.
Yeah.
Just
But then there's people like Sophie. You know my friend Sophie?
yeah. Wait. Yeah.
Complete opposite. You come in
Good
and you're
person.
like, ooh, I just feel good now. You know
I
what
can
mean?
feel. I can see that. I can see that.
She
I
doesn't
mean,
have
there's,
to do anything. She's just there.
yeah,
You just know.
there's certain people out there that that's why energy like the forces around. I'm like very spiritual, but the way I see it is, I don't want to go say Satan and Jesus, but like demonic. There's demonic spirits, and
You
then
said
there's
Satan in the
there's
part,
also
yeah.
that shit's. I said demonic, and then the flame went up, dude. That's not good. 666, man. Black Sabbath. I think that some people can have like real demonic energy, and then some people can have really enlightening angelic energy. But I think that it's crazy that it's so powerful that it can alter how you feel, even physically. Like
Oh, yeah.
I didn't realize like stress can physically like kill you.
Oh, fuck yeah.
My stomach aches that I got for years, fuck, man.
Yeah.
I didn't realize when they shoved cameras down my throat, nothing. It's stress.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Anxiety fucking murders.
But then
Sad.
again, then you prescribe someone Xanax, and then blah blah blah.
Yeah.
A lot of the times, that's how people become addicted to drugs, other drugs, like they
Yeah,
get prescribed
that would
something, maybe an injury or something like Xanax, and then, well, kind of ran out of my prescription. Let's go try this, and I don't know. It's all wild. There's a lot of dark shit. We've talked a lot of dark shit.
You want to know some more dark shit?
Yeah, I like dark shit.
Okay, this will be my last dark shit because I talk about I talk a lot of shit, and I talk about a lot of dark shit.
Okay.
Okay, so not really that dark, but like kind of.
Okay.
But, like-
murky pond dark.
I'll let you decide.
Okay.
Okay, so basically, I am not a spiritual person, really at all, but I thought it was a coincidence for my life, and I'm kind of convincing myself that there's something going on. Is that I think I predict death.
Oh fuck! Oh, you want to talk about this? All right, this is bad. All right, no, because
Not
I'm
really.
going through some weird shit right now with that.
Really?
Yeah, but keep going.
I can avoid it.
No, keep going. But if it has to do with fucking me, then I don't want to hear
No, it
it.
has nothing to do with you.
Okay, let's go. Because I'm a narcissist.
Yes. So basically, I predict death. Me and my mom.
I do too.
Do you really?
Yeah, but I didn't ever say this. I'll get to it.
Do
in
I
a
ever
second.
talk to you about this?
No, but I just talked about this with my last podcast I did 3 hours ago about this.
Really?
Yeah, but
okay,
I've been
let's see
going.
if we have the same thing. 'Cause if we
Okay.
have the same
All
thing,
right,
there's
all
gonna be a
right.
weird coincidence
All right,
going on. Okay, so basically, this happened to both me and mom so far, where something will happen, like we get like a weirdly emotional.
I know.
About nothing and like just rough day. Okay, so I'm just gonna give you two examples really quick. First example was quite a few years ago, probably like 5 or 6 years ago. No, it couldn't have been that long. 5 years ago. 5 years
Doesn't
ago.
fucking matter.
You're right.
Sorry.
Mom was at the liquor store and like buying stuff or just doing something, and she was at the counter and just kind of like broke down in tears and was
And
just
that's
like, I don't
when-
know. And she was like so emotional all day and couldn't figure it out. She's like, I don't know. Like, I'm not crying about anything. I'm just emotional. Like, I'm just like, I just cried to the cat. Like, what's happening? And then that same day, or maybe the next day, we found out that my friend Jack died. Let's see, recently. And that's happened in between then and now, like, has happened probably like 5 times between the two of us. One of us gets really emotional. So, like, recently, like, I think it was like 2 weeks ago, I was driving the car and all of a sudden I just lost it. I was listening to Britney Spears. it came on.
Leave
and
her
for
alone.
some reason, shut up. I started crying for no reason, and I was like, "Okay, that's like, am I that sad or like what's going on?" The next day, I found out it's like a friend, or not a friend of mine, but like someone I went to high school with had like died in a motorcycle accident. It happened.
A Lee kid?
It happened so. It's weird because that's only like one example of each of us, but we've each had like probably like 2-3 examples.
So mine's a little different, and it's similar but different. As in, well, the reason it's tripping me out that you said that is because I've been thinking about this shit for the past like 5 months strong, and I'm in a psychology of death and dying class. I just said this 3 hours ago on the podcast, but this sounds silly, but like when Bob Saget died, that morning, the day he died, that morning, I woke up. I'll wake up sometimes on Sundays if I'm fucking just like still in bed, and I'll just go on YouTube and just go down the rabbit holes of any random shit. And I never watch Bob Saget like stand-up videos, or like the Bob Saget roast. I just happened to like be watching random Bob Saget shit that morning, so random. And then I go to sushi later, take myself on a sushi date, and like Bob Saget is I'm like, what the fuck? I was just randomly watching that fool, and that with a lot of people, a lot of death and like celebrities. Mark Lanigan, he was like during the grunge Seattle movement. He just died the other day, and the day before that, I was watching one of his interviews. Like, but I don't always do that.
Yeah.
The next day he dies, and then I start tripping balls, and I had this is fucked up, and I don't think I should say it, but I will. When I found out my best friend died, I got the call. I knew something was up, but I always thought about like that call
With
yeah.
someone specifically, or
yeah,
with
like
him?
way all the time. Just like because I've had conversation with him, and shit. It's like people have things going on, but I was like, that's fucking crazy because I pictured this before in my mind multiple times, and a lot of things. But the thing is that scares me about it is a lot of the things that come true or like happen that manifest with me are like negative shit. And it's because I think more negatively than I think positively. And then you start manifesting that. I'm not going to... Whatever. I'm just saying that when shit like that starts happening or you start putting the vibes out there and then you start seeing results, I'm like, oh, fuck. All right, now I need to think more positive.
Yeah.
I talk a lot of shit about myself and think about death. And the psychology of death and dying class isn't helping at all. But and then I'll think about me dying. I thought about me dying a lot. I'm like, fuck, man. If I keep thinking about this is going to happen. And I hope not. I want to have grandkids one day, but thinking about death is predicting death. It's scary. That was my. I talked a little too much there, but
no,
I've fucking been thinking about this shit a lot.
Well, I mean, do you think that like now that you recognize that negative self talk, negative talk in general, like and you're starting to connect it to your day to day, do you think that it's possible that if you have positive self talk, you start to connect it to positive life experiences?
Yes, 100%. But my problem is. And it's my fault completely. I still fucking think negatively, and I know, but like I'm not like I don't understand like how narcissists doesn't understand their narcissist. I understand what I'm doing. I don't want to get too deep on me because it's boring, but I just don't. I put the negative thoughts first, and I think negatively about a lot of situations, even though I understand and recognize that if I think positive, probably other shit's gonna happen.
But also, that's a practice.
Okay, so yeah, and like a lot of like how we're talking about, we talk to ourselves when we're alone and have phone conversations. A lot of them are like negative shit I want to say to fucking people that piss me off, and then I realize I practice it, and then I'll get in situations where I actually say what I practiced, and it's always negative. So if I was to be positive, like say something positive, I want to be able to say that in conversation, and make that reality. But it's always negative, so you gotta just fucking.
It's a practice.
Buckle up, yeah.
It's a practice. I mean, it's not like you can't just be like, okay, I'm just gonna be positive now. It's something practice. You have to it's like what it is the process of catching yourself. Like I'm talking negative. How can I change that to be something positive? And constantly redirecting yourself, constantly doing that over and over again until it gets automatic that you don't even think those that about that. I mean, obviously, completely no negativity is not healthy either. But it's just like when it's unnecessarily negative is when you can start to redirect yourself and kind of be more leaning towards that positive end of the spectrum. Because if you're, it's just like, it's like the same thing as like how people say like meditation is a practice. It's not like the goal isn't to just be emptied mind and be sitting there still and not think about anything. It's all about the practice of getting your mind, as soon as your mind starts to wander, is practice redirecting it to like the sound of your breath, the sound of the, is constant. It's the practice of the redirection, of learning to train your brain to do that thing. It's just like a muscle. You have to do it over and over again. And so you have to actively be thinking like, okay, what kind of thoughts do I want to change?
So
and,
do you have personal experience with meditation?
Yes and no. I used to always, it started a while back when I would just listen to those like before bed, those like guided meditations. I loved those at first. But then honestly, you want to know, it's silly, but like what stopped me from doing those was the fact that I got a phone that couldn't adapt headphones to, and I couldn't listen to headphones at bedtime because I had to have like my phone plugged in or whatever. And so like that kind of stopped that transition. And then I tried to do meditation on my own without, because I was like, I don't want to always have to be relying on something. I want to just be able to sit with nothing, like my phone not near me. It's hard. It is so hard. And I have yet to get myself into like an active practice. But I went over to a friend's house, and her mom, it was me and my friend, and then my other friend that was just meeting her for the first time, and like her mom. And she sat us in, she's like cooking for us. She's like, I think we all just need to like practice. We need to meditate. And she like set a little timer on her phone. She was like, I just want you to sit. Like, she's like, I don't care what you do, where you go, but sit quietly for 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And just do it. And the whole time we like did it, 5 minutes felt like forever. And then you end, and then you like talk about it. You're like, what did you think about it? How did you, whatever?
Oh, you hear that?
Is that done?
The camera died. It's all good. No, keep going.
Oh.
This happened every other podcast I've made. The camera dies because I
Nice.
don't charge it.
And basically she just had us like keep doing it over and over again, and we sat in silence and like talked about like, what did you think about, like, how did we do it? And like she's such a good teacher because she just kind of sits and like, you're just supposed to like don't
Get closer
judge
to the
your
mic.
thoughts. What?
Closer to the mic.
I thought it wasn't working anymore.
No, the mic's working. The camera died.
Oh. It's
Do you like actually think it works? I think it works, but I haven't been consistent enough to actually figure it out.
that's the most important part, is consistency.
I know,
'cause
but
think
that's
it can
just
work.
like podcasting, just like skateboarding, just like
Anything.
sewing. But meditation is like the most important one, because I remember doing it for 2 days, and this is when I'm like healthy, like I'm living healthy. Like 90% of my life I'm okay, 80% of my life I'm healthy. During the weeks I eat pretty good and I don't smoke, don't drink. But when I meditate in those Zen moments where I feel like I'm doing good, I feel fucking relieved. That I'm like, whoa. I do guided. I have the dude talking to me and the chick talking to me on that Calm app. But when I'm healthy and everything's kind of like if I was to fucking meditate right now in a state like I drank wine and shit like that, I would feel like I'm not doing myself justice. Like I can't meditate. I don't deserve to
don't
meditate
do it
right
when
now.
you're like drinking wine, but honestly, it's probably best to do it in your worst states.
Oh, you're actually on to something,
If you're waiting
brother.
to feel good to do something to make yourself feel good, then there's no point, you know? So it's like you got to do it when you're in your worst kind of little zones and you're not feeling good. That's when you should be meditating. That's when you should be like do you want this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, you should meditate in your worst, but I just think
Okay, but
that
here's the thing with meditation. You gotta meditate in your worst, and you gotta all you gotta do, turn off that Calm app. Sit down outside, sit down in your room, sit down wherever you want, or stand up, lay down, whatever you want.
yeah.
Don't have your phone on you. Don't be listening to nothing. Like, don't be reading. Don't be like, playing in something. Don't be trying to fold laundry. Don't have a task. Just sit there and do absolutely nothing. Just be still. Just listen. Pay attention to your thoughts, and don't judge yourself for like thinking thoughts, because it's a normal thing for your thoughts to go anywhere. Just in a non-judgmentally way, just bring your thoughts back to the sound of your breath. That's the whole point.
It's all about breath.
It's all about breath, because, well, the thing is with breath. The thing with breath is that it's a rhythm. It's a consistent rhythm. It's like a heartbeat. It's a source of comfort. It's a source of like consistency. So when you pay attention to it, it just kind of, that's why it's so common. That's why babies like shh, 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 rhythms.
But that's also why I think you should keep your phone away from you. And I'm guilty as fuck. But when you go to sleep, sleeping, it's not just meditation, sleeping. Like a regular sleep cycle, getting the full REM cycle. I haven't done that consistently ever in my entire life. I've never slept how you should sleep. The whole 8-hour thing.
How do you
And
sleep right now?
depends if I'm up doing shit. But like,
So like a regular work week, like your regular like
I probably
Monday through
sleep.
Friday.
I probably sleep on average 5 hours, 6 hours at most, and that's bad.
That's really bad.
And I can tell when it fucks me up. And when I have 8 hours, anyone should sleep that much. But when I get a full 8 hours, maybe 9 hours, and I wake up, I fucking feel great. And I didn't, and I'm not on my phone before I go to bed. That's what I was gonna say. Put your phone away, because I'm trying to wean off the fucking coffee. I've never been a coffee drinker until like I guess a year and a half ago, and I don't want to rely on that in the morning. And I think when I'm naturally awake if I get a good amount of sleep, and I think everyone should do that.
What stops you from getting a good night's sleep? Like just your
Fucking
bedtime?
play it, fucking Call of Duty with the homies. The biggest one is YouTube. But that's what stops me. I'm just like I'm addicted to being stimulated. Like I recognize that, but that's why I'm always up. I need to be watching something. I don't know. Because I honestly get scared of my thoughts sometimes. I honestly need to distract myself when I lay down. Sometimes I'll just fucking go deep in the rabbit holes and
The thing
sketch.
is like when you just so we were talking about like how we just use drugs to kind of, distract ourselves.
Yeah.
But like you're just using YouTube, you're using video games. So distracting yourself from those bad thoughts that aren't a good thing. You have to learn how to
No, I know.
listen to those bad thoughts and deal with them and cope with them in your own way, and figure that out. And so that's why maybe meditation would be useful for you. But I think in regards to just the sleep part of it, like the best and most useful way, I don't know about you, like I really value routines. Like that's what helps me stay kind of stable and
Yep.
at
Of
homeostasis. But giving yourself like, okay, I get home from work at 4, I work out until X amount of time. I give myself X amount of time with wiggle room for like dinner and like chill out time, and then like schedule in like, all right, I'm gonna have like phone time / YouTube times, like video game time from however many hours. Like give yourself like a little leeway. It's especially you don't want to be too strict because then it's not gonna last. But like give yourself, all right, like by 9:30, by the latest like 10 o'clock. I don't know what time you get up and that kind of stuff. You're done, and you start your
Engines.
and then you fucking go crazy. You party all night.
No, fuck partying.
You don't
man.
go to
I hate
sleep,
partying.
and then you just go to work the next day.
I hate partying. And
Do
I'm
you?
like yeah, it's crazy that.
What kind of partying? You mean just like the
I don't
consuming
party,
or
but,
like
like,
party?
Wait, what did you say the first part?
Do you mean like the consuming part of partying?
All of it. It's but like physically wise, like I'll drink a couple of like beers, whatever, here and there. And these days, like I'll get a fucking hangover, and I'm hungover all fucking day the next day. And it's just like I don't like being in that state of mind. When I did the podcast like a couple hours ago, I was like hungover and I felt bad, like in that mind state, because I'm not all there. Like my mind, it's hard for me to comprehend things. I'm kind of just dealing with the repercussions and the consequences of fucking drinking. It's stupid.
Yeah.
But that drinking, all intoxicants and all that shit, to me, it's just it's hard.
It's hard. I think I'm also at a weird stage of my life. I'm about to be 23, and at this part of my life, I feel like everyone's at different stages. Like some of my friends are having children, and then some of my friends are still, going to bars all the time and talking to their exes or whatever.
Yeah, it's
And so it's like I'm at a weird where I'm like, I don't know. Like, I don't do much. I don't really party. Like I probably partied more when I was like 16 than I do now. And I am always thinking, I'm like, damn, am I like wasting this like early part of my life that I'm
nah.
like not partying? I mean, like just like going out to bars and drinking, but I'm
Yeah.
like doing a lot of these like fun adventure things,
Yeah, I feel the same way.
putting myself in like different, scenarios, getting myself out of my comfort zone at this very young age while I don't have a whole lot of repercussions, or at least that I'm not like expected to have my shit together quite yet.
I feel the same way.
But I'm also feeling like I should have my shit together, and I don't want to do that. I'm like, I should be on that grind set, bruh.
Grind set Sigma alpha male.
Sigma. I'm a
Beta.
No, I'm a Sigma.
I'm an alpha phi gamma.
I'm a gamma omega.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't think you're wasting time. I don't think that you could be missing out if you have that FOMO. I have that FOMO, and then I realize when I'm around that shit and I do it, I'm like, what the fuck? Every time I like go places, besides going to Huntington Beach, because I love going to Huntington Beach, seeing the homie and just hanging out, but like, I'll tell myself I really need to do this and do that, but then I'll do it, and then I'm like, I kind of like don't mind just hanging out with my routine.
Yeah.
I don't really care to like go out and.
Do you ever have FOMO though for things that don't necessarily exist? Like you're not. I don't have FOMO of like
Selling out arenas, yeah. Why am I not? I wish I was on stage
kinda.
right now.
I just mean like I feel like I'm missing out on all these things that I could be doing. I don't know what they are yet though.
Yeah, that's how I feel with careers. I'm always lost. Like this whole podcast thing is one of the few things that makes me like, all right, I'm like happy and sane doing it. But
Yeah.
like, yeah, I have FOMO of I'm not on the path of like a specific career right now. I'm working in a potential career, but I'm not going to use it to be that. But yeah, I have FOMO thinking there's a path out there I'm supposed to be on, and I'm not on it, and I don't know where it is. So career-wise, yeah, FOMO for sure.
Yeah. I don't. You know what's weird is I feel so. I don't have FOMO from career. Like I feel like I don't want to be doing anything yet. Like I'm trying to avoid getting into a stable career right now. And I feel like
think
that's so not supposed to be happening right now.
Yeah, you know what I think, and I've accepted this, and I think you can probably correlate with it, but I think I'm a late bloomer when it comes down to like the whole kids, career, money, house thing. I think I grind. I'm financially independent, and I don't live in my parents' house, but when it comes down to owning a home, having a wife and kids and career, I think I'm going to be a little more of a late bloomer and just kind of have to go through. You have to go through your 20s. Some people are like that. It's not a
like,
race.
It's not even like a late bloomer anymore. Like that's not even really a thing anymore. About being like a late bloomer.
Yeah,
It's
but
just,
you
like,
go on social media and you said some of your friends are having like kids. I would see that shit when people have kids and bought a house.
I'd be like, do you want it?
Well, that's very true and valid, but yeah, that's why you just can't compare. You can't
No.
get down on yourself because it's not a fucking race. Everyone has their own path. Everyone's a different age, and
Yeah.
if you're fucking crypto and out right now making millions, and I'm working a 9 to 5 making my, so what? Or you're having kids right now. I wouldn't. If I had kids right now, I'd be fucked.
Yeah. Fuck no.
I don't even know how to have a fucking girlfriend. Like, I don't even know if like how that shit works time wise and energy wise. I don't know what the fuck I would be doing. So right now, maybe we should just be happy with where we are at in life. I should be a voiceover actor coming to a
Theater near you.
fucking Blockbuster near you. Yeah, we've been talking for how long do you think? In your how much when you do, because it's your first podcast, what does it feel like? How long estimate wise?
An hour. 45.
That's not 45 minutes to an hour. Yeah, I honestly have no idea, but
what do you think?
I did one for like almost 2 hours earlier, and he's like, man, I feel like it was like 20 minutes.
I don't even know what time it is.
Time is it?
10:45.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm so fucking tired.
Are you sleeping here?
Yeah. Well, I guess we're going to end it here, and we'll do another one maybe tomorrow or maybe next weekend at Santa Rosa. And, well, I'm going to be in Santa Rosa.
I won't be there.
And next weekend?
Yeah.
What about in 2 weekends?
I'll be here for Joey's
Holy
birthday.
shit.
I mean, birthday shower.
Alright.
Shower. Baby shower.
I got that birthday bathtub. All right. Well, you did good. It was very good.
Thanks.
You did good. You did way better than I thought, to be honest.
I
Everyone
really
is.
thought I did way worse than I thought.
Really? So far, the 4 ones I've done have gone way fucking better than I thought. The only time I have cringe problems looking at them is me. So.
I had cringe problems.
Do you think you're gonna cringe at this one?
Yeah.
happens. Well, I'm gonna go fucking drink some water and lay down. Great talking to you. And what the fuck? I was insane. You think the camera's off? All right, high five, brother. Hell yeah.
You should give everyone high fives at the end of your podcast. Woo! Oh, we live. Can you turn this off? I don't know how.
Go open the thing on the bottom, the cabinet, and just twist the propane.
No, I'm scared of blowing up.
You're not going to.
I'm literally not lying. I'm scared.